I point out that what they are saying or they are doing is actually, offensive, and that is actually unfortunate that they should do so. Black consciousness was really a response, effectively, to that spirit of dominance, spirit of domination, political domination, economic exploitation, social discrimination, and all of that.
I think my first instinct would be to report them, depending on the severity of the situation. But also there's this aspect I want to bring in with what the Bible says, when you are struggling with someone, is bring a witness and then go to their leader or their authority. I think I'm going to go with the situation, because what if it's in a family setting, and what if it's in a workplace setting?
If I am a white person and a white brother or a friend or family says something racially offensive, I do find that challenging. I think maybe my personality is I don't want to confront people unnecessarily. So if it's a believer, then it's easier, because then brother, once again, I would have to, I guess, get the time and the situation right to say, okay, brother, you were saying this. Maybe the first time I'll let it go, but if it's a pattern, this is something that's not cool. It's wrong, and this is what the Bible shows us, and we need to address that. It's easy for me to say it now. I guess it would be very challenging to do that in real life.
It really depends on the environment. If I am at a restaurant, I'll speak out, because I'm in the position of power as a paying customer. But where I am the person being paid for a job, I trade quite differently.
We want to, just like, you can't say things like that and trying to correct, but it, unleashes fights and it becomes difficult, but we're always trying. So if it comes in a conversation where I don't really know the people, sometimes I might be quiet a bit, or, I don't want to overstep, but I am always conscious about, like, should I say something, should I not? So yeah, it's a hard balance, yeah.
Luckily for me, there's not much a white person can say racially that is so offensive that I've never heard before, I've never been subjected to. So for me, and luckily that the gospel has broken me in this area of racism, but rebuilt me up. And God has put so much confidence in me. I can sit with any white person. I don't have inferiority, I have to feel inferior. I don't care. In my eyes, we are all equal.
Yes, I have. I didn't know it was tokenism, like some people might not realize that things are racist. Was that, as I said, with white friends before, if going to a party or an event with them and being the only black person, they would happily or call me the token black girl. And I would receive that. I'm like, oh, okay, is this what it's called? And, perpetuate that narrative and not think that, wow, how did my friends know about tokenism and I don't? Because here am I thinking that we're all friends, but they can definitely say, you're the token black girl.
I don't think I've been a token, but I think, I don't know, maybe I've got a black friend, so he's the token of my non-racialism, I guess, if I can say, oh, I've got this black friend, so I'm not a racist. But then once again, it becomes more, the reality of the relationship, the friendship, and is there a dynamic there that's unhealthy? Am I seeing him as a black friend? I wouldn't also want a black friend to feel like they might be a token friend, but I think that will come through in the relationship. Yeah.
No, I think for myself, I don't personally feel that I've experienced any tokenism. With my experiences, I felt like wherever I've been appointed or wherever I've needed to be connected to, I think that there was definitely a sense of transparency and openness and a sincere engagement.
I've definitely seen it, or not from personal experience, but I am aware that some people feel or even are given jobs or certain opportunities based on race or gender or things like that in order to try and, balance the scales that previously were not balanced.
Tokenism is basically, I call it fronting. So it's a facade, you're pretending something is there but it's not there. And mostly it's done in terms of BE, affirmative action and stuff like that. You put, to get to be a level 1 BE contributor, for example, you put a female in the board somewhere, they don't ever say what's happening in the company, but you do it anyway and you get your level 1 BE. I've never experienced it myself because I refuse to be part of such a system because it's ungodly, it's unbiblical.
I can see this within the workspace, and I can hear this from the background of my family. Colored people aspired to be more white because white was superior. And so within today's context, that we have a predominant black government, we do feel now that there's the struggle now to be a bit more black so that you can gain more access to what is being offered. And I think that's a real challenge for colored people. And it feels as if like you're torn in between the white and the black and the history, and it feels like the colored people doesn't have a specific voice or recognition.
So I certainly can't speak for them, but I'm assuming it's similar to what black people are experiencing. I think anyone who is not white experienced the same type of discriminations, but again, I might be wrong. There might be different experiences.
There's a systematic process that is designed to ensure that the educated and the uneducated black person is kept poor. And by that I'll explain. Number one, the economy is held purposefully all over the world in the hands of white people, majority of white people. Number two, the unemployment rate of black people is a problem, and the poverty rates of black people is a problem. And number three, I would say, is the financial institutions. When you go access to funding as a black person, and the terms that you get, the interest that you get, you become high risk. You can come with the same guy, your same white counterpart, you went to school, you come out, you go, ask for funding, he gets a bad deal, he gets a better interest, you get an interest. You could live the same similar life, there's no issues, but you are high risk. So that system also is a problem.
The way that the Cape Town CBD has been built and structured, and the way that the rural areas has been built and structured, is such a way to make sure that it's difficult for people to get into the CBD where all the businesses are and where you can come and really work yourself and earn a good salary. And so I think that is still based on a very old system that this whole Cape Town plantation was built on. So for someone that's living in the rural areas, they have to wake up at 4 o'clock to get to the CBD at 9 o'clock. Where someone that has the privilege of living near to the CBD can wake up at like 6 or 7 and get to the CBD without that public transportation issue.
Maybe this is wrong, but like in my perspective, it seems like part of our sad history is the fatherlessness in communities. It's not just black and brown, certainly, but maybe historically, maybe white families were more intact than brown or black families. And I think that's a disadvantage that still has repercussions. So you're probably more likely to grow up in a poorer community where there is more crime, more drugs, more gangsterism, less healthy father figures in the home. So that's certainly going to put you on a back foot.